Alright guys, welcome to my passion project. I will be showing you how to make a game. So first of all, you do all this stuff, the usual, everybody knows this, it's incredibly simple, whatever. And you import this, and what this does is that it makes your computer do stuff, whatever. And then you copy and paste this large chunk of code, and what this does is that it also makes your computer do more stuff. And you export and compile, and then boom, you've made the entirety of my. As a lot of you know, for my passion project, I'm going to learn how to use Unity to make a game. However, I will not be making a full game as that will take far too long. Instead, I will set 3 goals for myself. Number 1, have a character that can walk. Number 2, make it able to jump. Number 3, have it be able to die, either from an enemy or a pit. If I have enough time, I'll implement other stuff like attacking or running.
However, before I do that, first I want to learn the basics of Unity. And how am I going to do that? Easy. I'll make a ripoff of Flappy Bird. So, the reason I wanted to do this was because I found a great tutorial on YouTube for beginners, so I thought, why not? So, before we get into the actual coding of Unity, let me explain the interface. So, down here at the bottom is where you store your art for the game, your coding scripts, and animation files, which we'll get into later. When you drag a picture into the preview here, as you can see on the side, a sprite is created. When you click on it, on the side here, under the tab Inspector, you can see a bunch of components. These don't really matter, they're just the default components. But if you scroll down, you can see a button that says Add Component. When you click on this, you can either add your own coding script to the sprite, or select one of Unity's various built-in components, which lets you add stuff like gravity and a hitbox to your sprite. So, now that I've more or less talked about how Unity works, I'm going to explain how this Angry Birds game works. After I fixed whatever the heck was wrong with my code... Bro, what the heck is wrong with my code? It finally worked. Let me explain how it does this. As soon as the game starts running, the bird's default location is saved, and when the player drags the bird with the mouse and lets go, it launches in the direction of the default position. The farther away the bird is from the default position, the more distance it goes. Once the bird is launched, 2 things can happen. If the bird goes a certain distance, the game detects this and resets. However, if the bird stops, the game is programmed to wait 3 seconds, then it resets. Now, I was going to finish this and add enemies, but one day I looked at the calendar and realized that I only had 2 weeks left, so I decided to get started on my main goals. So, I opened up a new project in Unity, and I made some dumb pixel art that would become my character. I found another great tutorial, and this would become my guide. Making my character move was actually surprisingly easy. All I had to do was make it so that when the character pressed an arrow key, the character would move in that direction, and wow, that's goal number 1 done. I also made it so that the animation would be playing in the direction that the player would be facing. Speaking of animations, let me tell you how they work. When you select multiple pictures and drag them into the preview, a sprite is created and an animation file. You can then apply this to any other sprite you want, and then you can play that animation whenever you want within the code. So, for this character, I made 3 animations, one for when he's not walking, one for when he is, and one for when he's jumping. Anyways, making him jump was also pretty easy. I used the same code that made the bird launch and applied it here so that it would only make him launch upward. And boom, goal number 2 done. Now, all that's left is to kill him. The tutorial I was following didn't have this, so I had to do some level 9000 IQ thinking. Earlier, you know how if the bird traveled a certain distance the game would reset? Well, all I did here was Ctrl Z and Ctrl V that code into this project and made it so that if my character was below a certain point, then the game would reset. Nice! Goal number 3 done. And that's my passion project. Before I go, let me tell you a secret.